All
Yeah,
right,
they're
right now, click go live.
$100 a piece.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I want to spend.
I'm
Just
sure a
depends.
lot of people were
I need
real
to-
excited to see how I was going to react.
Yeah, I need to get a camera for football too. So I mean, I don't need one, but I want to get a camera for football. I've been shooting those videos. So
Josh, how you feeling for this Saturday?
sorry,
Feeling pretty good.
Y'all look, your quarterback looked really good.
Yeah, I hope he progresses each week. So I mean, we're going up against a much better defense.
Hopefully it's not lagging. This is my internet is like boo boo right now.
Well, what happened to Bryson?
Fucking find out.
There he is.
What the fuck's up with the Braves right now?
I don't
I
know,
was
man.
sending him
Strider
the
done
link
gave
out.
up 4.
Sorry if I get up my bad. I'm just clicking on it.
My chair is like leaning.
Preston, whose jersey is that?
It's just a number 1 jersey.
Oh.
So I guess technically Shipley. About the only one who gave a shit on.
I told Chris, I said, look, I'm gonna throw it back one time. I think that to me that's their best symbol or best logo.
What's
Sorry,
that?
just that logo right there, in my opinion.
Yeah,
What logo is that?
Green Jackets.
Chris,
It's,
the ice.
Sorry, it's a single A team for baseball for
Oh,
the
okay.
Braves now. Well, single A, whatever. What do you call it? It's not
Farm.
single A, but it's
Low ball, low A.
Bryson.
Yeah, low A.
Bryson,
Yes.
raise your camera up a little bit, man.
Yeah, see,
We're like,
yeah.
I mean,
You make me die over here. You can make me die.
Yeah, let me try this.
Just put it on something. Damn.
Is that better?
Hell no. You
I mean,
what
damn,
the-
I ain't got. You want it like that?
No, you just need to.
you had it. You had it.
Why
good.
don't
There
you? Why
go.
don't you sit on the bed? There
How's
you go.
that?
That's good.
That's
better.
good.
All right, that's better. All right, if you do join, we are going to be going live for our podcast in just a second. What's up?
It
Michael
says we're
King?
live now.
We are, but I'm going to be recording it. Damn it, I'm going to be
Why
recording
you
it and
get?
posting the
Calm
podcast.
down. Take your
Excuse me.
medicine.
Excuse me, I did actually.
They done had a little bit too much Dayquil or something.
Yeah.
You know,
He
what I have.
took that
Not
NyQuil during the day.
I've done that
That's what he
before by
did.
an accident.
It,
I've done that.
accident.
No, I really
Yeah.
did by an accident. It was in high school. I did
Sipping
it
on
by an
some
accident.
scissor.
Yeah, it's by an accident. I don't do that liquid stuff. Ugh, I can't do. I can't take it. Ugh. I have to do the pills, even though liquid helps better, probably. But all right, if you do
Ugh.
join, we're gonna be recording for the podcast here. So here we go.
Ocho Cinco, was he a quarterback?
Your ass better call somebody.
His team hasn't won a national championship since before he was even born.
He's gone for the touchdown. Caldwell Pope. How about that one, baby? Let's go. Come on.
Come back, no. Hey,
I love college football.
Go Dogs.
go Tigers.
Roll Tide, roll. RMFT. Roll motherfucking Tide.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the College Football Weekly Matchup, week number 2. We had a good week of, I guess we could say good week of games. Week 1 was very exciting. Some upsets, some people already shaking their head over here. But, yeah, it was fun. So, yeah, we are recording live. We are live on YouTube and recording for our podcast that's going to be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So, if you watch it there, and it'll also be up on YouTube to rewatch the live stream. But Bryson, I know had a rough week, but how was your week 1?
I mean, it was great. College football's finally back in action. Florida, it was. I knew we were going to lose that game, but we kept on shooting ourselves in the foot. 3rd and goal, 3rd and 1, false start, false start, false start. 2 players were number 3 on the punt return. I mean, simple mistakes. Mertz, when he had time, he looked good. We should win this week. We're facing McNeese. But I think the real, talk is, TCU, man. I mean, sorry, TCU, Colorado. What a game that was, I mean, Deion said we're coming, and they were coming.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Josh's face right now is just like, is he frozen again or not? I can't tell. He's just sitting there. But yeah, at least you got your loss out of the way early. I mean, you got it out Thursday, so you're kind of recovered from it. Hopefully you can get some momentum back against McNeese. You better watch out. McNeese is coming. Josh, how was your week? You're getting ready for a big week this week.
Yeah, man. It was a great opening weekend of college football all across the board. The upset with Colorado beating TCU, a couple more upsets. The state of North Carolina is high on their horse right now with App State and North Carolina and Duke. They're high on their horse over there. Just a week, week 1, everybody get the jitters out, and it's going to get down into it for a lot of teams this week, especially Alabama. So, looking forward to this week of college football.
Yeah. Well, Preston, yours was not so early. You got the beating on Monday night. I see you still got the jersey on over there. Almost didn't make it tonight, but you were able to make it. I'm glad you were able to make it. How was your week? Even besides, the Clemson loss.
Hey man, I'm trying to grow up and not allow it to affect me on a day-to-day basis. It's tough when every 40 minutes at work somebody wants to bring it up. I'll ask them just a random question, and then I'm like, oh, didn't your team lose on Monday? Yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and air it out. My team lost. We looked bad. We looked terrible. Duke came out at home and beat the heck out of us. And they had every facet of the game pretty much working for them. Clemson had every opportunity to make that a game. They didn't capitalize on opportunities. 2 fumbles inside the 5, 2 missed field goals inside the 10-yard line. There was a dead ball foul in there, which I do not believe was a dead ball foul. I've never seen a call like that before. That was our last hope. Well, really our second to last hope. And then when Cade threw that interception with 4 minutes to go, that was pretty much the nail in the coffin. We go down 28-7, and trying to rebound for a easy, hopefully easy week 2 game versus Charleston Southern. So we'll see. Week 1 didn't go the way I expected it to. Definitely didn't how I wanted it to go either. But we got a long season ahead. We'll see if we can rebound and put together some wins and make some noise in this regular season.
Gotcha. Hopefully my connection's not bad. It says I'm losing a little bit of internet here. I don't know if y'all can tell that, but anyway, Preston, I don't know if you know these people in the chat, but we got some Go Tar Heels and Blue Devils to the Natty. All that.
Yeah. I sit by those guys. Yeah, they've been really the main components of getting a lot of hell at work every single day. Reed's a kind of a Georgia fan. He's only a Georgia fan if they're good. And when they're not a Georgia fan, he's too busy woodworking. At King, I will say it. King is a Tar Heel fan. He's been riding with them since the beginning of the season, even after Clemson beat their butt last year. So, I respect King for being a Tar Heels fan. And like Josh said, state of North Carolina right now is hot. They put a whooping on South Carolina the last couple games. So, congrats to them.
Yeah, hopefully I'm not lagging. Y'all let me know if the connection's bugging out. But yeah, we had, like I said, good week. I was very excited. Had some good games going on besides the 2 losses we had from our guys over here. If you do join, you can comment in the chat. Just let us know anything. You can comment whatever, and we'll put the comment on the screen or talk about it. But yeah, let's recap some games here. Let's get into the games. Starting off with Bryson's team, I know we mentioned a little bit. We had Florida falling to Utah 27-13. I had this game very close. Was that the final score? What was the final score? I think that was my prediction. What was the final score of that game? Anybody know? I think I wrote the score wrong.
I know we scored 11.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was 24-11. Excuse me. My prediction was 27-13. I don't know why I wrote that down. Anyway, but yeah, 24-11 was the final score. Utah beating Florida. Offense, struggled. Bryson, I know you talked about it a little bit. Any more thoughts, on your team and how Utah looked in that game?
I mean, that defense, held our run game. I think we only had like 20 something rushing yards that whole game. Like I said, we kept on shooting ourselves in the foot. Third and goal, 3rd and 1, false start. I mean, you can't win football games like that. Like I said, I like Mertz. Like I said, when he had time, he actually threw,
Sorry.
decent passes. The first 2 passes, he overthrew and threw it out in front. I was like, oh Lord, here we go. But like I said, first game of the season was, like I said, I already count that as a loss on my schedule. So far, I'm 1-0 on that. But yeah, like I said,
yeah, I don't know I don't know if I'm lagging or what potato you're filming off of, but I saw you frozen, and then you keep. I think you're good right this second. Anyway, Josh, you got to see the game. I know you were shaking your head right there. What's your thoughts on Florida Utah?
I mean, I like Bryce's optimism about Mertz. I don't think I had that same optimism. I mean, come on, the guy come from Wisconsin. Why did he transfer from Wisconsin? That what he throw the ball 12 times a game at Wisconsin, 13 times a game. Like I just don't know. I don't know who your backup quarterback is. I don't know if I believe in Mertz as much as you do, but yeah, I mean it kind of went pretty much as I predicted. As I thought it would go. Even without Utah's starting quarterback playing, I think maybe it could have been worse if he was playing. But yeah, I mean, Florida still, they still control their own destiny. That was an out of conference game, so they got some stuff to work on, and maybe Mertz can grow and be developed a little bit better than he was at Wisconsin. But yeah, that's all I got on that game.
Yeah, you mentioned a little bit the offense was, rough in that game, but I know a lot of people had hated on me when I only had Florida scoring 13, and I was, I don't know why. Utah had the best defense in their conference last year, I believe, so I don't understand that. But Preston, any thoughts on the game?
Yeah, like Bryson said, a lot of Florida optimism for the rest of the season. They definitely have a lot of talent. I said that last week. Sorry. They definitely have a lot of talent. They definitely shot themselves in the foot, though. So that means you clean up those kinds of mistakes. You can have a better season than originally expected.
Yeah. And I was a little surprised to see. I mean, I know Utah has a run defense, but I was surprised to see Florida not try to maybe run the ball a little bit more. I don't know. I feel like they could have ran the ball a little bit more. They couldn't get the running game going, but Utah does have a good run defense. Bryson, what's going on over there, bud?
keep it
You
going.
all right? Okay. Just curious. Just making sure you're all right over there. Seeing the top of your head and your fan over there. Just making sure you didn't pass out on us or something. All right. Let's go to the next game. We're gonna get the 2 games over for you guys. Get them out of the way for you guys. Let's go to Clemson and Duke. Clemson getting dominated the second half by Florida. I mean, what am I writing here? By Duke, 28-7. Preston, what's your thoughts on the Clemson game there? Oh, okay. I thought someone else joined. That scared me. What's your thoughts on the Clemson game there?
I mean, look, the Clemson offense did not take a step forward in the presence of Garrett Riley. The Clemson offense took a side step. Okay, they didn't go forward. They didn't go backwards. They just took a step to the side. Brandon Streeter's no longer the offensive coordinator. Now we've got Garrett Riley. Garrett Riley did not do anything. It was very clear in that game that they didn't trust Cade Klubnik to get the job done. Cade took it upon himself to show the coaches, look, I can show you what I can do when the lights are shining on me. And we saw that wasn't a very good, outcome for us. He was throwing guys over their heads. We're talking about 6'3" guys overthrowing these guys by 1.5 feet. And that's pretty hard for these kind of guys not to be able to catch a ball or at least put a hand on it. A couple times the first fumble going into, I think, in the second quarter, that was his fault. He pulled the ball from Shipley. He should have just let Shipley run it. Even if Shipley doesn't score a touchdown there, at least, we still got possession of the ball. Turnover there at the bottom of the pile. The turnover in the third quarter. I mean, Clemson moved the ball. I mean, they moved it a couple times during that game. There wasn't an issue with that. They kept finding gaps, and they were taking advantage of them. They just couldn't get to the pay dirt when it was required. And like I said, 2 fumbles, turnovers like that, an interception, a dead ball foul turnover, 2 missed field goals. You're not going to win games. You're not going to win any games doing that. I don't care who you're playing. You play like that versus Charleston Southern, guess what? You're going to start the season out 0-2, okay? You can't win games like that. You can't play games like that and expect to be good, especially when we got teams like Florida State, South Carolina, North Carolina. There's teams that are going to come out here are going to give us our best shot. You play like that, we're looking at a 6-6 season like Florida, okay? We're going to be the bottom, the laughing stock of everything.
I wish. Try 4-8, Bubba.
No, I was looking at some stats. Clemson I believe it was Clemson, had 29 first down to Duke 17, and they would always get downfield, it seemed like, and it just all fell apart. So, after I watched most of the game. I didn't see towards the end of it. But 28-7, if you looking back at the stats and stuff, you kind of look and think, how was it 28-7? I don't know, but the turnovers, you mentioned big turnovers was a key thing. Josh, any thoughts on the game?
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of the LSU Florida State game about how Clemson was just kind of taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back on their offensive drives. But I just want to point out, like I said, that, before the NFL show last night, man, the game, the ever since Clemson laid it on Alabama, ever since that game, Dabo Swinney has had some type of arrogance about him. And the hiring of his his buddies and ex-coaches, ex-players and people he played in college with and stuff like that, the buddy system he's got going on over there at Clemson since the assistant coaches kind of departed. His closed-mindedness on the transfer portal, I think, is really going to come back to bite him. Duke came out ready to play. I think Duke took that game way more serious than Clemson did. I don't want to give an overreaction here. I don't want to go as bad as to say 6-6, but Clemson does have some stuff they need to figure out. They do have the talent there. I know that they're under the new offensive coordinator, which I believe was the offensive coordinator at TCU, if I'm not mistaken, last year. So I know we're going to get into that game as well. But new offensive coordinator, maybe a new scheme, and maybe they, the offensive coordinator needs to draw up plays that play into K Klubnik's, what makes him more comfortable. I'm not saying he's a real bad quarterback, but I did watch DJ Uiagalelei for Oregon State only missed 4 passes, throw for almost 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, something like that. And San Jose State's not a pushover school. So, and then I seen that DJ's dad made a tweet about Dabo Swinney not liking the NIL and not doing the transfer portal, but he really needs to look out what the best interest is for the athletes and for the school and leave his personal opinions out of it. So to speak, that's kind of what he said in the tweet. But yeah, Clemson's got they kind of got to look up here. They got to look in the mirror. That they're not far along from being a national championship contender. So we just need to see which direction this goes. But like we were talking about last night, if Clemson don't straighten it up, if they do only win 7 or 8 games this year, and then they turn around and do the same thing next year, Dabo Swinney might be looking for a job.
We got a couple people in the chat. Sorry, Bryce, before we get to you. Somebody says, what's up, Brandon Schutz? I don't know how to pronounce that. What's up, man? And then Michael King, says, is it out of the pocket to bring up that Clemson just had 2 great quarterback play for them, and that could be the reason they are good? I think they will be average with a solid defense from here on. Preston, any thoughts on that comment before I go to Bryson?
Yeah, I mean, King's completely correct on that. I mean, we had 2 generational, talents at quarterback. I mean, we've had a fair share of quarterbacks. Kelly Bryant wasn't a slouch at quarterback. Taj Boyd got it started. He was a great quarterback. I mean, he really was. He was a better quarterback than Clemson deserved in 2012 when we had him. Cole Stout was kind of a stagnant quarterback. We had, people forget we had Chad Kelly on our team. He didn't really pan out to be much, but we had him on our team at one period of time. But real quick about what Josh said about DJ's dad, you know what? I'm actually okay with what DJ's dad said. DJ and I stuck up for DJ a lot, and then I was one of the people that also was, jumping like, man, it's DJ's fault. He's overthrowing these guys. I mean, DJ kind of just looks like, look, man, it wasn't me. Like I wasn't perfect, but look at me. Look what I can do. I'm not the issue 100% of the time. And DJ and his family were attacked by a lot of really bad Clemson fans, a lot of, college football fans. Like, you're terrible. Look what you're doing. And it's kind of nice to see him, performing at a better level at another school. It sucks it's not in the orange and white. But you know what? I don't have any problem with what he and his dad have said. DJ kind of threw some shade at Dabo a couple months ago. And, his dad is actually very active on social media. I follow his dad on all platforms. So I saw the tweet the other day when he first posted it. And I was like, I mean, he's right. I mean, Dabo's got a lot to do. I mean, you got to fix these. This day in college football, NIL and transfer portal. Okay, you cannot win championships without utilizing those, aspects of college football nowadays. And I mean, it is what it is. If he doesn't, Josh could be very correct. If we go 7-5 or 6-6, or even 8-4 the next 2 years, there's a good chance those people in those offices might be looking for a new coach.
Bryson, any thoughts? Duke, Clemson. I know you're excited to see Duke's win.
I mean, Josh from Preston really summed it up for me.
Why is your camera froze like that? I'm sorry. Hold on.
What do you mean?
I gotta screenshot this, please. Oh, damn it. I couldn't get a picture. You were froze like this. Yeah,
So, I mean,
go ahead, Bryce.
I mean, Josh and Preston, they pretty much summed it up. I only watched the first half of that game. I went to bed. It got pretty late for me, And then I woke up at 4 and let the dog out, and I say, "Oh, the game." So I checked my phone, and it was 28-7. I was like, I still, waking up, I scrunched my eyes, whatever. I was like, I cannot believe they only put up 7. I thought this game would be a whole lot closer than that. I got really much to say. I mean, Chipley, he looked pretty good every time he, touched the ball like he was, going upfield. Like Preston said, I mean, they looked like they were keeping on going and going and going. And you mentioned 29 first downs. It's like they just couldn't finish it. But at the end of the day, go Devils, baby.
Gotcha. All right, let's get in a few more games. Colorado defeating TCU 45-42. Do you guys think a player on this team can win Heisman? And what's your thoughts on him, Josh? Starting out with you.
All right, here we go. So, if Deion Sanders was not the coach of Colorado and they went 1-11 last year, and they go into TCU this year and upset them, they would not be ranked 22.
No,
they would not go from out of the top 50 into the top 25. Which I don't want to take anything away from Colorado and what they've done. Colorado has had all offseason to prepare for TCU. And the coaching staff that Deion has built out there is a good one. He's got a couple of ex-Alabama coaches out there, Charlie Strong, Vinny Sunseri, or Sal Sunseri, I should say. But me and my buddy was talking about this. Colorado had all this time to prepare for this game for TCU. TCU didn't have nothing to prepare for. They had nothing to go off of on what kind of game plan that Colorado was going to do, what the defense was going to look like, anything like that. So I don't want to overreact much. And I got to call a game Travis Hunter played here in high school, not too far from here against the team that I do play-by-play for, or color for on the radio. He is a generational talent. He's not going to be able to play 100 snaps a game on offense and defense throughout the whole season. But that was a great game. It was the greatest game of the weekend as far as the competition was, the back and forth. I thought TCU had a chance there at the end to kind of put it away, but their defense kept folding. And TCU is a shell of the team that they fielded last year. They got beat 65-7 against Georgia. So I don't want to read too much into it. Colorado's going to be in the top 10. Colorado's going to make a New Year's Six bowl. I've read all this stuff. I just don't see it happening. Nebraska's not a very good team. Nebraska probably does have a little bit of a better defense than TCU. I don't see Colorado scoring 50-something points this weekend. However, I do think they can get the win. But, that was a great game. TCU had a kind of a reality check. So I don't know if TCU will break back into the top 25. I don't see them making any noise in the Big 12. They'll probably beat Baylor. Texas State just beat Baylor. So, but yeah, that was a great
right now
game.
looking at it. Right now looking on it. If you're looking at it right now, I don't know what you think Colorado will finish, but do you think a player on this team will win Heisman?
No.
Okay, just curious. Preston, your thoughts and same question. Your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, a lot of what Josh says, I do agree with. I mean, yeah, obviously both teams had all offseason to play for this one game. I mean, I'm not thinking that Colorado is going to go on and compete for the Big 12 because I don't think they can beat Oklahoma. Okay, I don't think they can beat Oklahoma. I don't think they can beat a couple of the other teams. I don't think they can beat Texas. In the Big 12, the best two teams are going to play in the conference championship game. So
they're still in the pack. They're still in the pack this year.
Okay, so I'm staying corrected then.
Well, just swap those two teams with Oregon and USC.
And Utah.
And Utah and Washington.
Yeah, so yes, my fault.
Pac-12 is really not that bad with Washington getting better, so go ahead.
No, they're not. And so I don't think, that they're going to play for a national championship. I don't think they can win their own conference or their own conference. So let's put that aside. Do I think that if Travis Hunter has 8 or 9 more games where he's playing 110 snaps, yes, there's an opportunity for him to win the Heisman. Do I think the Heisman is going to be won by either of him or Shedeur? No, I don't. I think the Heisman is probably going to be won by Jordan Travis at Florida State or Alabama's quarterback or, heck, anybody on Alabama's offense, somebody at Georgia, maybe Carson Beck, I don't know. Those are the guys that I think are going to get it. Those are the guys that are going to have more spotlight opportunities. They have the teams around them to make it. It should be an individual player's award, but more often than not, it does come down to the best player on the best team, whoever can make it. Georgia's got that tight end. There's an opportunity for them to play for a lot bigger and better things and to play for a Heisman. Do I think it's going to happen to any of them? No. Is it an awesome story in week 1? Heck yeah, it's an awesome story. They had a player play 110 snaps both ways. They won a game that nobody gave them a chance. I gave them no chance. Okay, I thought they were going to get laughed out of that building.
I mean, no chance is kind of strong. I'm not saying I gave them a chance before, but you got to look at, like I was telling Bryson, you got to look at last year when they played them. What was it? It was early in the season last year. I can't remember. It was week 1. I mean, what TCU beat them 38-13 to a 1-11 team that's got a whole new team. I mean, it's not that's about so the spread shouldn't have been 21 points, but Yeah,
but looking at it, should they have done what they did? No. But they're immensely talented because you know why? They use the transfer portal. You hear me, Dabo? Use the transfer portal. You can go from 1-11 to 1-0 to start the season instead of 0-1 to Duke.
Bryson, any thoughts on that game? Coach Hayes says in the chat, Travis Hunter is that dude, by the way. But shout out to Coach Hayes joining tonight. Bryson, any thoughts on the game?
I was actually playing golf when this game kicked off, so I had it on my phone while me and my cousins, right, playing golf. Had it on in the cart. Kept on, hit a ball, come back. They scored. They scored. Back and forth. It was a crazy game. I think Hunter played, if I'm not mistaken, a total of 125 snaps. If I'm not mistaken,
I don't know the
could
exact number.
could he win Heisman? Possibility. Like Preston said, if you play, 8, 9 games like that, I mean, why not? I mean, play both sides of the ball. Um, and like Josh said, they're not going to put up 50 every game. I don't see that happening. Their defense did look pretty weak. Their front line looked pretty weak. I mean, every time they were in the middle, it's like no problem for TCU. But I think they're going to win some games this year, and against USC and Oregon and Utah. I really don't see that happening.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the next game. Great game there. That was probably the game of the week right there. A couple more. Try to get through these. Florida State defeating LSU. Dominant second half. Defensive line was strong. Obviously, me and Bryson was recording for the first half of that game. Then we had a injury in the second half. I went down in the second half and went to bed. If you can't tell, I'm sick right now a little bit still. But yeah. Defensive line was strong. Obviously, stopped him on the 1 yard line a couple times in the first half. And then the second half, first half, Florida State struggling with all those penalties. They had a good amount of penalties in the first half, and then they came out and dominated, the second half pretty well. Josh, any thoughts on that game? Florida State, 45-24 over LSU.
Yeah, man, I watched every play of that game. LSU drove right down the field. Should have took the 3 points. Should have taken the 3 points, because if you get stopped, that's a momentum builder for FSU's defense, and they were able to build off of that and stop them again. And the locker room material that Brian Kelly, gives out. A couple of weeks ago, he's talking about we're going to go down there and beat the heck out of Florida State. No, you're not, dude. No, you're not. And he's already made some comments about how playing Alabama and Tuscaloosa this year. He made some weird the dude says the weirdest things, man. In fact, man, if he wasn't a football coach, I think he would need to be on some kind of list to where he couldn't be around kids or something. I don't know, man. This dude says some of the. He said, I guess we thought we were the 2-time champion Georgia Bulldogs, but we were sadly mistaken. Like, where does that come from, dude? What are you talking about? And he did take blame. He said it falls solely on me and the coaching staff and the players. And it's been years since I've seen LSU's defense quit like that. They quit. In fact, one of the defensive linemen for Florida State said on a radio show that or in an interview said that he, one of the offensive linemen for LSU, were pretty much saying that they were giving up, saying, "Man, y'all are stacked deep," or something like that. Said something along the lines. That ain't something you say to the defensive lineman. Then they knew they could just eat them up in the second half, and that's what they did. And LSU gave up, and that's not what LSU football is about. It hadn't been that way since before Nick Saban got there. So I don't know what's going on over there with Brian Kelly, but he better get it right, because an overtime victory over Alabama at home is not going to keep you hired over there in Baton Rouge very long.
While I remember, sorry, I don't mean to go back on this fact, but he told me to give him a shout out. Ryan Newsom with his upset pick of the week, Duke over Clemson. He did say it early in the week, so I have to give him a shout out.
I don't know Ryan Newsom, but he also said Gamecocks by 50.
yeah, and he's also a Notre Dame fan, so there's that.
But I do
Notre
want to say
Dame's
this.
good.
He's got a cousin that might be playing at Alabama, though.
Yeah.
So I do want to say this. I want to give our group a little shout out right here.
I'm sure Josh knows who he is, but go ahead.
Shout out to us. This week our parlay hit. We went 4 for 4. Shout out to us picking all the right ones. That was pretty cool. I do gotta say that. Shout out to the boys.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. We did have all of our locks of the weeks hit. Me and Bryson did a little parlay. By the way, I got to figure out. I don't mean to say this now. I don't mean to make Bryson pissed off on screen. Well, for some reason, it will not let me withdraw that money at the moment. I've used this site before, but
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know if I'll have to ask Preston more about it because I don't know if it's something to do. It says something about the rollover. I don't know what the hell that means.
Oh, is it bet now?
Yes.
Yeah, you have
Hey,
to
y'all-
win at least $100 before you can take it out.
I got 150 in there. What do you mean?
Oh, I don't know. I have to
Y'all
look.
keep
I
y'all
gotta
keep
call.
rolling. Y'all keep rolling. I gotta go get me some more drink.
I need some drink too. But all right, let's keep it going. Where were we at? Florida State,
Yep.
LSU. Preston,
Yep.
any thoughts?
Preston, yep.
Yeah, I mean LSU was, I mean, I like to say that they, kind of got. I mean, I really don't know how to say it. I'm at a loss of words. I mean, Florida State came out. They look like a lot better team than I expected them to be. Florida State looks like they're going to be the real deal. So I'm super excited to say that I've purchased my ticket for the Florida State Clemson game in a couple weeks, so I get to see that firsthand. That's gonna be a lot of fun. But I mean, LSU did not play the way they needed to. They didn't take advantage of when they had the opportunity to score points. And I mean, if you know college football, if you have an opportunity to score points, take the points. You cannot leave points on the board because you don't know what's going to happen. Okay, you don't. And like Josh says, that fan base will turn on you very quickly if you stop providing wins for them. I mean, look what they did to Ed Orgeron. The dude wins you a national championship, goes 15-0, has a bad season next year. He's out the door. Okay, they don't care. And Brian Kelly hasn't won a national championship. His only claim to fame right now is he beat Alabama in an overtime game. Okay, that's all he has to his credit. So you lose a couple more games like this, guess what? LSU's gonna be looking for a new coach.
Yeah. By the way, just to let y'all know, Ryan Newsom did message me just now, and he says he did not say South Carolina by 50. You must have the wrong person. He says he hates the SEC. Besides when
Okay, you're right. It
his
wasn't
cousin will
him.
go there.
It wasn't him.
Else.
It was somebody else that came up last week and said
No,
South
it was
Carolina.
Locke.
That
It
was
was Locke.
Okay, yeah, that was Locke. Yeah.
And then he said South Carolina undefeated national champs.
Yeah. He's a South Carolina fan. Yeah.
Okay,
He
my
was
bad,
trolling.
Ryan. My bad, Ryan. Roll Tide.
Yeah.
I will tell you
Notre
this.
Dame still sucks.
He'll be saying Roll Tide pretty soon. Don't worry.
Every time I see, I go on Facebook, whatever. Every comment under our video, App State, baby, and I love that. The real champs.
Dude, I love this.
Who's been commenting that App State?
That's my cousin. That's Ryan. That's Newsom.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. His Mason is going. Mason Short, is the one that's committed to Alabama so far. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Mason Short is his name.
Yeah. Offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman. All
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll keep my ear to the ground.
I think it's 5-star, 4-star. I don't know. I want to give.
Okay.
Anyway, Bryson. Hopefully your internet's working over there. You keep fuzzing in and out. But Bryson, any thoughts on the Florida State LSU game before we get into the other stuff?
I mean, Florida State's offensive defensive line look very, very, very strong. And like Coach Hayes says, Jordan Travis is that dude. I mean, man, look amazing, look like a Heisman out there. I mean, he had enough time in the pocket to make an omelet. I mean, it was just crazy to me. Like Preston said, when the points are on the board, take the points. They should have kicked the field goals, but like I said, Florida State, they're jumping up to number 4 this week in the rankings. I like that move, and I think they can stay there honestly all season.
Gotcha. Last game before we did last game, if anybody wants to talk about it real quickly, South Carolina losing to North Carolina 31-17. Offensive line was terrible. They got sacked. South Carolina got sacked 9 times, I believe. Radler was on his back. Josh, any thoughts? I will say, Will, my cousin, I don't know if he's watching this, would say, and I agreed with him. He said, well, I said this too. I would be mad as hell if I got sacked 9 times by the damn North Carolina defense. I don't know how good their defense is this year, but god dang, I mean, come on. All right, go ahead, Josh.
Oh yeah, man, Mac Brown getting his 100th win. Now he has that at 2 different schools, the only coach in history to do that. Congratulations to him. I've always liked him as a head coach. North Carolina, they got a great quarterback. Like I said, I don't know how good their defense is. I don't know what the offensive blocking packages were, for South Carolina, but it was not working, and they did not make any adjustments. Spencer Rattler was running for his life. Every time I looked at the TV, because the game was going on at the same time Alabama game was going on, and somebody decided to have the fantasy football draft there in that same time. So I'm trying to do this and that and this and that. But anyway, every time I looked at the screen where South Carolina was playing, Spencer Rattler was running. He was rattled. He was running everywhere, every which way. And
Well, trust me, I
South
paid.
Carolina
I
have a
paid
chance.
for it. I'm sick over here, so I paid for having to draft at that time. I'm guessing. So
But
probably
yeah, South Carolina's got a lot to figure out, and they got to figure it out quick because there ain't but a couple more weeks ahead to Athens.
Gotcha. Preston, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I mean, North Carolina, they are a much better team than a lot of people like to give them credit for. They're a lot better team than I like to give them credit for. They got Drake May is an outstanding quarterback. He's going to be a top 3 quarterback taken, I think, at this next draft or maybe the year after. I don't know. He looks incredibly young. I love Mac Brown. Like he said, congrats to him for getting his 100th win. That's a huge, thing in college football for a coach to have 100 wins. Looking at South Carolina, obviously, I mean, I pay attention to a lot of their games just because they're my rival and I like to know what they're doing. Spencer Rattler's not the problem for South Carolina. The dude went 30 for 39 with 353 passing yards. He's not the problem. I think the problem is a poor offensive line, a poor defensive line, a poor, corners and stuff like that. I mean, but a lot of that was, again, taken advantage of because Drake May is that guy when it comes to throwing the ball.
He did throw 2 picks, though.
He did throw 2 interceptions, but
I don't think his completion percentage. I mean, I didn't get to watch the full game because we had the draft going on as well.
Yeah.
But
you know what? All being said, 2 interceptions in week 1 doesn't incredibly scare me. Things like that happen. You're going to overthrow somebody, underthrow somebody, deflection, stuff like that. All that being said, I think North Carolina is going to be a much more improved team than they have been in the past. I think Mac Brown has a philosophy set that these teams are going to be overachievers. And if that's what you're going to do, you need to do that. I mean, North Carolina, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They're not going to get the best recruits in the nation. They're not going to have this huge home field advantage. They're just not going to have that. What they do have is players playing for that logo on their shirt and for their head coach and for their fans. And they did a really good job of that on Saturday. They took care of business versus South Carolina, and we'll see. They've got a pretty decent schedule the rest of the way in. So, if they keep that up, I mean, there's an opportunity. They're playing Florida State in the ACC championship game for the second time. We'll see.
I thought you were going to say something about the playoff. I was about to say, hold on there. Yeah, it's possible.
The brakes.
Anybody think Duke can make the ACC championship? Any chances? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Just curious. No, Josh.
Anyway. I don't know. We'll see.
Michael King says, which I did know this. I didn't mention 9 sacks in the game. I think we had 17 total sacks last year. I believe it was something like that. Correct. Bryson, any thoughts on this game before we move on?
Be honest with you, we had our guests. I wasn't really paying attention to that game.
Good God Almighty! What did you do? I mean, you sound like you got a TV from 1937. Holy crap!
It sounds like those old TVs, like the static.
Static.
You can feel the static on it.
All right, Bryce. Good
All right, here we go. We better now.
Yeah, but you ain't got to have it up to your face. But you're good. All right. Any fast recap? Bama, UGA. UGA starting slow. Michigan, Ohio State struggling. Baylor falling to Texas State. Anybody want to say anything about that?
No. Let's move it on.
Moving on. We're going to get into week 2. All right. Let's get player of the week, actually, first. Player of the week. I'll go first. I have my player of the week. I wanted to keep it out of the Colorado game because you can pick anybody from that team. I did write a couple. I did write one from Colorado down the running back, but I'm going to keep it out of the game. I'm going to go transfer from Michigan State. Keon Coleman, 9 receptions, 122 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Florida State. I know Johnny Wilson had a couple drop balls in that game, maybe I believe 1 or 2, and he stepped up. Was a good red zone target for Jordan Travis. So I'm going with Keon Coleman for Florida State and getting the big win over LSU. Josh.
All right, so I'm going to stay away from the Colorado game too because I figured y'all would have, either Hunter or Sanders. So I went with Michael Penix Jr. against a pretty good Boise State team. We're going to go 29 of 40 for 450 yards and 5 passing touchdowns. And I think he has an opportunity to win the Heisman.
Gotcha. Bryson, player of the week.
I'm also going to say away from the Colorado game, going to Ole Miss, going to Trey Harris, 6 receptions, 138 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
Who the hell did they play? Didn't they play like some?
They played a nobody, man, but they scored 73 dang
Yeah,
points. I know
72.
that.
Yeah, you're right. Preston, you got a player of the week.
Well, I mean, y'all said it, so I'm going to say it. I'm also going to stay away from the Colorado TCU game. I'm going to go with the quarterback that a lot of people, blame now. Like I said it, I'm going to go with DJ Uiagalelei, 20 for 25, 239 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, 5 on the day. Guy gets his credit back. It's good to see the guy playing good. The guy's got a great heart. He was a hell of a teammate. Hell of a family, very big supportive cast there. So it's really good and impressive to see that guy be able to do things that I know that we all know he can do. So it's exciting to see him.
Wait till I send this video to Deion Sanders. We won't even be allowed to talk about Colorado football if we don't fucking believe. If we don't believe, we can't talk about them.
Yeah,
coming,
I was going to say,
coming.
honorable mention, any player on offense for Colorado, they had all of them, the receivers had over 100 yards, I believe.
Yeah, that Horn guy I was surprised with that Horn dude or whatever.
I think, Jimmy Horn Jr. Yeah, he won me some money on DraftKings. I'll take that. I had him on DraftKings. The running back, Edwards, Deion Sanders said he was going to make a play. I think he had 4 touchdowns and did good receiving and rushing. So, yeah, could have went to anybody there. But let's get into week 2 unless anybody's got a rant of the week. Anybody want to rant about anything this week? No?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, go for it.
How the hell do we look so bad versus Duke in week 1? You cannot come out and play like that and expect to play in national championship games. God, I had to get that off my system. I've been so nice.
Did you hold on? Time out. You expected to play in national championship games. That was your first problem right there.
Yes, I expect to play in a national championship game. I'm a fanatic when it comes to Clemson. I'm tired of losing. Okay, we look like crap.
Yeah.
All right, I'm good. I know my neighbors are pissed off. I'm just yelling.
Yeah, probably.
Clemsoning.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
I got one real quick, and I don't want the viewers or listeners to take this the wrong way, but Deion Sanders post-game press conference, he brought race into it, and then he wants to say, I got a roster of 75% African Americans. So does every other major university.
Yeah, you're probably right about that, but yeah,
Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Yeah. No. Let's go into week 2 matchup. And Bryson, do you have a rant? Anybody cut out in front of you this week? Anybody? Anything?
Nah, everybody's been treating me pretty good this week.
Yeah, I like keeping the rants outside of football, just to change the subject for a second. But
no overpriced or crappy.
Nobody done pissed me off this week so far. It's only Wednesday, so got 2 more days of the week. But I'm pretty sure tomorrow something bad is going to happen. I'll probably call you on my way home and just raise hell.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's get into week 2. Week 2 matchups. If you haven't watched, we're going. Or Josh, did you have the records from last week?
Yes.
What's the records, Josh?
I'm going to go Chris. Look at him. He's ready. Chris went 4-1 with his only loss being South Carolina. Preston, you went 3-2 with Clemson and South Carolina with your losses. Bryson, you went 2-3 with Florida, South Carolina, LSU being your losses, and I went 2-3 with South Carolina, Clemson, and LSU as my losses. So Chris starts off with the lead, and Preston's in second, and me and Bryson tied for last.
Has the tables turned? Hopefully, I'll get up.
The turns have tabled. The turns have tabled.
Yeah.
I'm giving y'all a head start.
We got start.
We got what 14? How many weeks we got? 13 weeks. I'm giving y'all a head start.
I don't know.
I'll just put it like this: Josh won the regular season last year. Who won bowl season? That'd be this guy right here.
Yeah, Preston won the bowl season.
Let's just put that out there.
Yeah. Well, too bad it's not bowl season. So let's go into week 2 matchups. We're doing, if you guys don't know, we're doing 5 games each week. Try to keep it to 5 games unless there's some big matchups. And we're going to do a pick 'em, spread picks for each game. And record at the end of the year is the winner. for this. But yeah, let's go into the week 2 games, week 2 matchups, games I picked. Saturday, 12 p.m. Notre Dame at NC State. Notre Dame favored by 7.5. Bryson, who you got in this one?
I'm going Notre Dame. Hartman's going to keep throwing the rock good. Give me Notre Dame.
Preston, are you going with your ACC, NC State, or are you going with Notre Dame?
That's a wolf down or whatever. It's not horns down. No, I'm going to roll with Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's going to be too much for them to handle. I believe it's at NC State. That might kind of keep it closer than it needs to be. NC State plays real physical ball, but I think Notre Dame's going to be able to at least by 10.
Josh.
Yeah,
Notre
man.
Dame or NC State.
That 0.5 has got me, man. I think Notre Dame wins this game by a touchdown, so therefore I'm going to go with the Wolfpack of Notre Dame. Early game.
You mean the Wolfpack of NC State? Is that what you meant?
NC State, yeah. No, early game, I think Notre Dame's going to be a little sluggish to start off with. North Carolina State, I think they're putting all their eggs in one basket here. I think they're going to come out and play pretty good. So I'm going to go with North Carolina State plus the 7.5. I do, however, think they lose the game, but by a field goal or just a touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go. I'm going to go with Notre Dame as well. I wrote down Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's – what's going on here? Why did I hear somebody else echoing? Bryson, what are you doing? Why you keep moving, dog? Anyway.
Now I'm gonna have Newsom. I'm gonna have Newsom commenting here.
Yeah.
Notre Dame by 50, fighting Irish.
I can't see the Braves game over there, but it looks like I don't know what's going on. But on Preston's
so we're getting our butts whipped. That's what's going on.
But yeah, I'm taking Notre Dame minus 7.5. NC State open up a win against UConn, 24-14. I know they're known for having a good defense, but I just think Notre Dame should be able to handle them. I'm not a huge fan, even though they're at home. 7.5. I think Notre Dame at least wins this game by 10 points. So I'm taking Notre Dame. Yeah, but this is the first somewhat test for them, so we'll see. Next game, we're going back to them again, just because not a whole lot of huge games this week, but I'm going back to them again. I want to see what everybody's take is here. Saturday, 12 p.m. We're going Nebraska at Colorado. Colorado favored by 3.5. Josh, open it up. Who you got?
All right, here we go, man. I think it's going to be a close game, even though Nebraska's not that good. I just have a feeling, man. I got a feeling that Colorado is going to have a hangover from beating TCU. People telling them how great they are. I do think they cover this, though, so I'm going to go with the Buff. I believe until you give me a reason not to. So I'm going to go with Colorado in this game minus the 3.5.
Yeah, Ryan Newsom says 3 of the 4 picks are right. Notre Dame by 17. That's what he just wants to let you know that. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to take Colorado as well. Just too explosive on offense. Defense ain't great, but I don't know, Nebraska. I've never been a huge fan of Nebraska. I know they're on a record where they lose these close games or whatever, games by a touchdown or whatever. I don't know. I think Nebraska is supposed to be a little bit better this year, but yeah, I just don't. 3.5. I think Colorado should be able to win by a touchdown at least in this game, but could be wrong. Like Josh said, could come off sluggish, but this is his first home game for Colorado, so we'll see. Bryson, who you got?
I'll go with Colorado. Only thing that scares me at Colorado is that defense, look pretty sketchy against TCU. Like I said earlier, I don't see them putting up 50 or 56 points. There's just no way. I think they win this game by 2 touchdowns.
Preston.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it going. I think Colorado is going to have enough offense to put past Nebraska, if I can speak. I don't. This is going to be one of those games that they probably win by 7-10 points as well.
Gotcha. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat them down, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Colorado, I don't know if Colorado has defense for it, but we'll see. Next game, let's go Saturday, 3:30, number 22, Ole Miss, and number 24, Tulane. Are you a believer in the green wave in Tulane? Ole Miss favored by 7.5. Preston, start us off.
This is a tough one. I think Tulane's one of those schools that, obviously they're ranked right now. They're not an easy team to beat, even though they're not a Power 5 school. Ole Miss, I mean, they do play in the SEC. I think they've got better players. Maybe it's controversial. I don't think they got a better coach. I really don't. I think Tulane's might have a better coach here. But I am going to roll with Ole Miss minus 7.5 here.
Bryson, who you got?
I'm going Ole Miss too. I mean, that Dart, the quarterback Dart and Trey Harris, that connection was absolutely beautiful to watch. Like I said, 5 touchdowns for him. I think Ole Miss scores about 3 touchdowns on this game.
Gotcha, Josh.
Yep, I'm going with the Rebels, man. I know it's in Tulane. The Green Wave, something voodoo-y about playing over there in Tulane. But I just think Ole Miss has too much talent. Jackson Dart, he's coming back, experienced quarterback, another year in the system under Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, an offensive
Had a good
genius.
running
So
back too.
Judge,
Junkins or
yeah,
Judkins.
Judkins.
Yeah,
Yep.
whatever his name is.
I think he may end up being the leading rusher for the SEC by the end of the year. So I'm going to go with Ole Miss minus 7.5.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm taking Ole Miss as well. I know, a lot of didn't Tulane. How many games did Tulane win last year? Like 10 or 11?
10 or 11,
10? Yeah, I think
Not
they won.
including the USC game, right?
where
Yeah.
they beat USC.
Yeah, they won a good many games, but I don't know. I think Ole Miss is pretty good. And like you said, Dart, they got Junkins, they got another good receiver who played well. I can't remember his name. I think he caught like 3 touchdowns the other day. Ole Miss, is one of those teams I expect to be pretty good this year. 7.5, maybe a bit much, but I'm going with the SEC team here, and I'm taking Ole Miss to take down Tulane. Next game, 4th game here. Let's go Saturday, 3:30. Number 23, Texas A&M at Miami. A&M favored by 4.5. I'll start it off here. Tough game for me, but I'm taking the Hurricanes. I'm taking Miami to somehow stay close. I think this is going to be a really close game, and I think it's going to be somewhat of a maybe a 3-point game. Could be even closer. I don't know. I believe in Miami. What's the new cut? Cristobal, and then they got the quarterback Van Dyke and them. So I don't know. I like Miami. I know Miami always never lives up to the hype, but I'm gonna take Miami here plus 4.5. Josh, who you got?
Well, last week I took LSU, and the whole time I was on the couch watching the game, I was rooting for Florida State. And my wife was here. She's like, "I wish you'd stop. You picked LSU. You need LSU to win." And if I'd have known Clemson was going to do what they was going to do, I would have been pulling for LSU a little bit more. But because I took that loss as well. But so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to be pulling for Miami because I do not like Jimbo Fisher at all. But I think Texas A&M with their recruiting class the last couple of years, and they're going to put it together. You got Bobby Petrino calling the plays down there. I think their offense is going to be improved. You got the Connor Weigman, another somewhat experienced quarterback for Texas A&M, and I think it's just going to be too much for Miami. So, yeah, I'm going to take A&M minus 4.5.
Preston?
Yeah, I'm going to take A&M as well. I think Jimbo Fisher knows how to win in Miami. I mean, he coached at Florida State. I don't think the spotlight's going to be too big for him there. Obviously, it's never too big of a spotlight at Texas A&M. For those reasons, I do think they're going to get it done. Texas A&M minus 4.5.
Bryson, who you got?
I'll go with the Hurricanes. I don't like Jimbo Fisher. I don't like him at all. I don't like that team. You had all this talent from last year, and you sucked it up. I can't believe Josh went with Texas. It's National Texas Hate Week. Can't believe that. But give me
What are you
Miami.
talking about? Josh went with Texas. What are you talking about?
I went with the team from Texas, but I just let you know
sorry,
Texas A&M can't stand Texas.
I'm sorry. That went
Longhorns.
over my head. Okay, but who'd you go with? Sorry.
Miami. Go with Miami.
Oh, I'm surprised by that. I'm taking Miami. Okay. So me and Bryson's on Miami, and y'all two got Texas A&M minus 4.5. All right, let's get into the game of the week. Game of the week, we got one of the best games last year, and then We were at Josh's house last year. We'll be at
High
it
dollar
this year.
wings.
Yeah, had the high dollar wings. It's going to be a night game this year in Tuscaloosa. We got number 11 Texas at number 4 Alabama. Alabama favored by 7.5. Josh, just go ahead and give us your thoughts and why you're taking the Alabama Crimson Tide.
All right. Hold on. What did you say? Number 4, Alabama?
Is it number 4? Did I could have
No, Florida.
I could have the old rankings. I could have the old rankings. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Alabama's
I did
number
this
3
early.
now.
I did the rankings early. I apologize. The rankings may
I'm
be
just
off.
messing with you. I'm just
Rankings
messing
may
with
be
you,
off.
man. All right. Let me throw a little tidbit out there. Alabama leads FBS in history at home winning percentage of 84.1. The last home loss they had there was LSU in 2019. It's hard to beat Alabama at home. I'd feel a little differently if this game was in Texas. I know Texas is throwing all their eggs in one basket. They're throwing everything they have into this game. Been reading some of their message boards and listening to some of their sports talk, and they're not going to come in and be intimidated by Alabama. They feel like they should have won last year. They returning 10 starters on offense, 6 on defense. Steve Sarkisian knows how Nick Saban runs practices. He knows things about Nick Saban that gives them a little bit of an advantage. It is a night game in Tuscaloosa. I'm going to go with Alabama minus 7.5. Jalen Milroe becomes the first quarterback in Alabama football history to rush for 2 touchdowns and pass for 3. I think he kind of grows up a little bit in this game. I think the offensive line can hold up for him. I think we can run up the middle on their defensive line. I think Alabama's going to set the tone in this game and win by 10 or more. I really think so.
That's a lot. That's a lot of touchdowns for old Milroe there, but we'll see. Bryson, I know you're taking.
No, I'm
Alabama.
saying he already did that. I'm just saying.
Okay. I thought your
he
prediction.
did that last week. No, did that last week.
I was curious.
He was the first quarterback to ever do that for Alabama, and it surprised me because Jalen Hurts. We've had Andrews out. We've had running quarterbacks before.
I thought you were saying he was going to do that this weekend at Texas. That's why I was
No, he's going to need to air it out. They're going to make him air it out.
Gotcha. Bryson, who you taking?
If you know me, that's all I got to say right there. I mean,
I can't tell because your connection sucks. So you'll have to do that next week.
Texas, it's gonna be Texas. It's gonna be Texas. Texas.
When you're on the
Texas.
You're going with Texas?
No, give me Bama.
Yeah,
Bama.
I was like plot twist here. No. When you're on the podcast live next week, you have to do it live because your connection is boo-boo. Okay. Preston.
I mean, everybody went Alabama. I mean, kind of wants me to, take Texas. I mean, Texas is very talented. They took them to the wire last time.
I didn't go Alabama yet, so just fair warning.
Okay, well, you're leading it up like you're going to anyways. I don't think Texas gets it done. I do think Bama is going to win this game, and I think they're going to come out and try and, score a lot of points, to kind of further put any doubt in anybody's mind that last year wasn't a fluke. Texas, does not belong with Alabama. So I'm going to take Bama minus 7.5.
Taking the horns. Give me Texas. Y'all kidding me.
Oh.
Y'all knew I was taking Texas. I'm rooting for Texas. I don't care. I'm rooting for Texas. I don't mind Texas. I like the burnt orange. I don't know what they're wearing that game.
They're crybabies.
I don't care. I'm taking Texas. They should be coming.
We're back.
I think this is gonna be a close game. Even if Alabama wins, I'm taking the 7.5 points either way. I'm taking
the hashtag we coming has been floating around to a lot of Texas fans, and I just want to give them the hashtag back. We here. We've been here.
Now, don't get me wrong. I would not be surprised if this game ends up 41-7 Alabama. But
so my score prediction is 31-20.
0 this week. You want to put money on that?
31-20 is my score prediction.
Okay, that's not a bad score. I know I know I probably won't lose a Notre Dame game. Notre Dame should win. I think Notre Dame will win by well. I mean, anybody can go 0-7, but I didn't see your picks out there, Mr. Clay. Rick, I haven't seen your picks on NFL either. Well, yeah, we did, but hadn't seen any of your picks out there. So how about you shut your mouth? And, hey, we'll keep winning over here on college football. I had a great first week with my picks. So yeah, let's calm it down over there.
Hey, Clay, Rick, Big Money Clay. Hey, Big Money Clay, why don't you put forth some sponsorship money for our parlay this week?
Yeah,
let's bump it up to $50.
Oof, that's a
the worst thing is, Chris is gonna give you the money because I still ain't got my money.
I'll get you money.
So,
I'm gonna get you money. I'm gonna get you money regardless. I told you I'm gonna get you. I owe you $60. What did you say? Lions winning tomorrow too. Potty scores.
Porta Potty scores first touchdown. Who's Porta Potty?
He's talking about Shane Laporta or whatever. Everybody's high on it. He ain't gonna score that first touchdown. Doubt it. All right,
Olsen
hey, hello.
Huh?
It's 46 homer of the season.
Anyway, but
lock of the week.
No, yeah, I'm taking Texas. Give me Texas.
Yeah, I already wrote
lock
Texas
of the week.
Down. You got them Longhorns stuck up your ass. I don't know what's going on.
That's fine. And when they come and lose by 3, in this game, I'm gonna be happy as hell. You'll be happy too. But you know what? I'll be happy with another W. The W. But no, I do have to find a new site probably before we can do these locks of the week on.
What are you talking about? It works perfectly for me.
Well, you got to help me out after this stream. You got to help me out. All right. Anyway, let's keep it locks of the week. Anybody got a lock of the week? Who wants?
I got two.
Right. Well, we can't.
Well, you can only go one. I understand, and one's official.
You can give your other one, but pick the one for the parlay. Okay, pick one good one for
the one for the parlay. I'm gonna take Washington minus 35. Now it's a big spread. Okay, I typically stay away from massive spreads, but Washington looks good and Tulsa doesn't, and I think they can cover that. A majority of that in the first quarter or the first half. Okay, they could be up by 28 points, 31 points. Hey, don't look now, but the Braves coming back. They could be up by 28, 31 points before halftime. Okay, I think they're going to get that spread covered even with second and third strings coming in. Okay, so that's my official one. Okay, if this game, Texas and Alabama, is close on Saturday, if it's close, and I don't think it's going to be terribly close, I'm going to take the over on jersey changes for Josh at 1.5. I'm taking that over every single day. I'm hammering that over. I think if they come out and score a touchdown in their first drive, Josh is going to take his jersey off and put it on another one.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. With you there. If that was a line, I'd probably take the over there as well. Bryson, do you have a lock of the week?
Yes, Chris, I do. My lock of the week is going to be Pittsburgh and Cincinnati over. 45.5.
Over 45.5. I need to write these down, by the way, because I forget. Or did you write them down, Josh? Or you want me?
No, I ain't writing them down. You write them down.
All right. So Preston, you had
35.5.
Washington.
It's just 35.
35. So that could be a push.
35. Yeah, we'll be all right. It could be a push. I doubt it. It'd be highly unlikely. But Bryson, who'd you take?
Pittsburgh and Cincinnati over 45.5.
Josh, who you got?
All right. I need y'all to look this up real quick. What is the over-under for Auburn at Cal?
Auburn at Cal. Now. Yeah, somebody look that up for him. I had a couple written down, so I was debating here.
And there he goes.
Who I wanted to take. Yeah, there goes Bryson.
Auburn at Cal, the over-under on that game is 54 on the dot.
Woo!
Auburn is favored by 6.5. At a 54. Future ACC opponent.
54.
Ooh, if he swings his bat here, no outs, 2 on second and third.
Put me down for the under for Auburn at Cal of 54.
Auburn at Cal under 54. I had a tough time picking a game this week. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it was very, very tough for me this week. I wrote a couple down. I'm trying to decide which one I do. I was looking at the Iowa State game. I was looking at taking App State plus 19 against North Carolina, but I can't do that this year. Probably not can't do that this year, even though I like App State. But I'm going to take. I don't know if I could take them going off a loss. I didn't write this one down. You know what? Everybody thinks they're going to come off sluggish. I'm going to take one of the games we chose, and you guys are probably going to hate this. You guys probably going to take this. The line's 3 on here. I'm taking Colorado -3. It was between that and it was between Utah -7 against Baylor, but Baylor may be looking for a bounce back here after getting the loss to Texas State.
Now, Josh, before we completely lock these in, Auburn scored 59 points
against the Minutemen. Against UMass.
I get it. Cal's not a stout defense, and Cal still put up and still allowed 21 points.
This is the furthest game Auburn has ever played away from Jordan-Hare, other than when they played in Pasadena against
Florida
Oregon
State in 2013.
And then Auburn is headed out there tomorrow afternoon. They're leaving a day early. So because Hugh Freeze wants the team to get acclimated to the surroundings and the time change and everything. But we are talking about a huge cultural change for them to be walking around on Friday, be walking around Thursday morning in Auburn, Alabama, and then be Friday afternoon, be walking around Berkeley, California. You want to talk about a culture change. It's going to be a culture change. I know they could score some points. I mean, they might win 42 to 3.
Yeah,
I don't know if Cal's going to score that much.
Yeah, we're going to lock them in. We're obviously not going to win every week. Hopefully, we'll win this week. Hopefully, keep it going. We're going Washington -35, Pittsburgh and Cincy over. Whatever the number was. What was the number he said? I think I wrote down 40-something.5. My handwriting sucks, but I got the number right here somewhere. It's going to be whatever the number is when I lock it in. So the number may vary, but Auburn at Cal, it's going to be under 54, and then Colorado -3. I'm taking Colorado -3. Guy at the bottom looks like Jesus Christ. Okay, I should not have led that out loud. I'm glad I didn't read that out loud.
Come on, me.
Yes, I'm not gonna read it out loud, but I'll tell you later. Anyway.
Put it up on the screen, man.
All right, I don't care. Who cares? He said, "Guy at the bottom looks like he has a massive wag." That's what. This dude. Whoever
Who's on the bottom? Who's on the bottom?
You're at the bottom.
Hey, if he's got one, it's in his mouth.
All right, let's keep it. Let's end it. Bryson's probably not going to be back on, but I appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you like, subscribe on YouTube. Check out the podcast on Spotify. Download and follow there. Check it out on Apple Podcasts as well. We'll be back. Check out our NFL show. We did our Week 1 picks. B, Josh, and Bryson, and Clay did his picks as well, even though he couldn't make it
virtually.
Virtually. But yeah, I think that's about it. We'll be back next week sometime before the season. Also, check out armchairsports.media. I'll be writing my Week 1 games. I'll probably write out a thing and predictions for this week there for NFL and college. I'll do a few games there. But yeah, appreciate you watching. Peace. All right, boys and girls, if you're on live stream, we're ended it. That's done with the podcast. Appreciate everybody joining. Appreciate everybody coming out. We recorded for the podcast. We'll edit that part.
If Eddie hits a home run here, got a tie game.
Peace.
Nope.